whether or not something is a guaranteed kill, and he goes for the kill. And if it's not, he just drops the combo immediately, lands, and just punishes them for landing over and over again. We see, yeah, Windows kind of occupying that mid space, getting the slipstream up immediately.
I'm actually curious how they managed to get a swap for game one. I feel like, while both of these characters can maneuver across the stage very well, I feel like that's going to force game one to be a very heavy cat and mouse kind of game.
And because you have the slipstream that you can set up between the 2 layers of platforms coming out from Windows, and Akashi has so many different places to stop his quick attack.
On top of that, the stage is fairly laterally oriented despite how vertical this battle can go. And if you're aware of Absa's zoning space, she wants all of that length to the stage. Although, one approach to this set that I'm very curious is to see Akashi starting with is that he seems to be keeping a very strong ground game against Windows.
Yeah, I think what he's hoping to do is when you're grounded, you still have access to parry, and that's the reason why being in the air in Rivals is ultimately a bad place in the neutral. What a follow-up! Sour hit fair twice, and then finding the up air to cap it off. Windows looking to immediately repay a favor with another strong of his own, but Akashi staying calm.
Now, it's worth noting that as of this season, Akashi's been performing very well at home and even traveling. If I remember correctly, he managed to even top 8 at Frostbite. So I'm hoping to see a lot of that practice come into play here. Windows tries to even up the field, but still sitting at 77 and counting.
Ooh, the tornado actually interrupting the recovery by Akashi, giving Windows an extra little bit of an opening, and he's looking to really press it off stage.
Yeah, while the slipstream isn't like the best of zoning tools, considering how infrequently you get to use it as a projectile, it does come in handy in this matchup in particular, just because you at least get to interrupt in that moment whatever the Absa wants to roll with.
Yeah, Akashi taking the second stock. This is looking actually pretty promising. He has about the same percentage he did previously, and he's finding some solid anti-airs. This is some of the dangers. That airspace is so hazardous when you're fighting against Absa.
Ooh, all right.
I like that he used the bowl pop just to stall in the air, just for that fraction of a second.
It's the little things that matter.
Exactly.
Especially considering with Penguin's previous performance, it's kind of hard to upstage that man. But right now, Akashi taking his own take on Absa, as well as game one over Windows.
That was a DI mix-up. He jabbed, as opposed to like jab into F-tilt and then tracing the DI off the F-tilt, in which case DIing out wouldn't have killed Windows. It would have actually been out of range for a follow-up kick. Jab into down tilt, that's actually lethal. That's clever.
A filthy mix-up, too. He doesn't do that often at home.
Because I mean, that's the one thing you can always count on with the way that the kill effects work in Rivals, is you have that larger spark if it would kill with no DI, but you only see Galaxy when it kills with every DI.
Despite a very strong start to game two, Akashi's still trying to figure himself back into this. I think this was a really good pick from Windows as far as the stages go. There's not as much space for Akashi to mix up where he's going to try to punish Windows, whereas with Windows, he's got a ton of space to land with Wrastor. So if any of his pressure goes awry, he can still just reset the situation without taking too much, if any, damage.
And the Cloud, once again, being a bane to the jump move. And I like the fact that, ooh, okay, good follow-up by Windows. But I like the fact that whenever Akashi is seeing that slipstream not immediately over ground, he's purposely aiming his Cloud to be in the slipstream because he's confident that's where Windows is going to try to approach from because it gives him so much more movement.
These Cloud placements from Akashi have actually been like spot on.
Beautiful, yes. Akashi now looking just as even as Windows.
Oh, just like you mentioned, that little touch to the ground, come back,
yeah.
Mix up that aerial movement. I like that even though Akashi is going for a lot of the aerial mix-up, he's keeping it low to the ground. That low-profile kind of game seems to be messing up how Windows would typically control the pace of a match.
Right, it's that same patience that he hates having to deal with in this matchup. Looking for that up strong, doesn't find it. And Akashi, meanwhile, he makes his way to center stage more so than actually looking for the pokes, because that's where he's trying to leverage his real advantage.
Ooh.
Oh, that was scary.
Inches away from trying to take the lead here.
Every single one of these not quite working. There we go. I was going to say, Windows had to have noticed that there was 3 air dodges in a row, and that time he waits just in time.
I like that he especially went for the upstairs, so like he was prepared regardless. He was just positioned so well for it. Ooh, what do we got? Coach, no, not going to do anything just yet.
Just backs off immediately after the up air. Windows looking to try to keep the edge guard going, but as we've said so much, Absa is a bit of a hard cookie to pin down. Good stall by Windows, recognizing what that cloud is going to be.
Ooh.
Beautiful down tilt and calling out the DI right afterwards. Windows closing that out, but Akashi showing that he's able to keep pace to pace with him.
That was an amazing game 2 from Windows. We saw how well he was able to adapt to the space that Akashi was denying him. We saw how mobile he was. He was willing to also play the ground game. And the mix-ups when trying to net those kills, I feel, is what really just sold game 2.
Yeah, I think like we're starting to see like the note-taking of Windows paying off. And the longer this it goes, it's like, all right, his favorite way to avoid my combos is this when he's being caught in hit stun. So now I can start baiting that out. And then what's going to happen next is like, obviously Akashi can like mix up, not press any button immediately. But then Windows can do his favorite bread and butters then from then on out because he established this 50-50. Akashi thinking very carefully about where he wants to go. Opting for ethereal gates.
All right.
This is a stage that I know Absas aren't, like, it's not a bad stage. It's just a little bit annoying because those platforms are just barely out of reach of up tilt, which is normally your favorite way to put on pressure for people landing up there. But, I mean, on a big blast zone stage, when you have those explosive lightning kicks and that up air, you're the one who actually gets the benefit a lot more often than your opponent in terms of life expectancy.
I think the value for going into this stage is going to find itself where Akashi places his cloud, because I think it's being as the platformers are going to give Windows more opportunities to land safely. Akashi can take advantage of that, put clouds there, sort of use the platformers as bait, but an unfortunate...
SD there, yeah, it was just straight up. What happened was Akashi accidentally got up air, and that move, when it hits, actually has like barely any end lag, but when it whips, it's huge, and you're not able to come back right after as easily.
Still very early on into game 3, though, so plenty of time for Akashi to pick up the pieces here.
Especially with Wrastor at 100%. Oh, yeah. Absa can definitely take that out. But slowly slipping away. Windows so patient. You see how he just stands there, waits entirely for the quick attack, because he knows he can jump up air to catch if Akashi goes for the platform above, or jump forward air to catch anything else.
And like the lowest possible angles these aerials will be coming out from Windows. He's doing such a good job of denying the ground space from Akashi now. I feel like he's fully realized how Akashi wants to approach this matchup, and is now going to force him to mix up his play, come into the air, come right into that space that Wrastor loves to fight in.
Or I think we're starting to see a little bit of uneasiness coming out from Akashi too, because like Windows is able to just play this neutral now just standing, right? He's standing and waiting, and Akashi is still coming to him first, and that's where he just keeps getting this more and more momentum from.
Trying to find that on strong. Not going to be able to do it just yet. I kind of want Akashi to slow down the pace of the match if he can.
Yeah.
Just because trying to like really reach for these kills is what's going to give Windows a perfect opportunity to get high damage combos or just net the kill.
Yeah, just outright. And I think you're absolutely right. Like Akashi was getting a little bit too, the way I call it is like his tempo was getting too hot, right? He was trying to like force that higher speed of play that was serving him better in the first 2 games. And Windows had found a way to actually cool things down to the point where that was just being snuffed out every single time he tried to force something to happen. Like eventually, like even if he did slow down properly, he was at 100% with 2 more full Windows stocks left to go through. There's no way you can make that many correct reads in a row playing hot.
Bring ourselves to tower, and I think this could work out well, but I just feel like at this point, Windows is like red hot.
Oh yeah.
He's got so much momentum behind him. He has such a clear vision of how Akashi wants to play, and the counterplay has been so strong from him.
Yeah. I mean, just watch it every single time now that Akashi is coming back to the stage with quick attack. Like, just watch where Windows puts himself every single time, like before the quick attack even starts, and he's always in that just right place where he can then watch and punish every time.
Like, more specifically, it's when he's looking at the point where quick attack ends, he sets himself up right above because he's recognized that Akashi has a habit of jumping out of his quick attacks. And finding that, you already know that there's going to be some sort of movement mix-up following up from that point.
What a great adjustment by Windows. He got hit by the Ep tilt, and he immediately teched it because otherwise that bomb would have gone off and killed him. But yeah, to your point, it is a part of it is recognizing when you know the quick attack's even about to start, so you know to get out of the way and like put yourself in that prime punishing position.
I feel like the fault of Akashi in this set thus far has just been he showed his bag and tricks too early. He came out the gate wild game one, but he showed all of his tricks, how talented he is with Absa. He gave Windows so much time to adjust and adapt, and I feel like in a best of 5 set, it's kind of dangerous to do that. It's a huge gamble.
Yeah, you either need to have like a huge deck of tricks, or you need to be like so conservative. Like, this is a new game, so here's 2 more. New game, 2 more. But we have down to last stock on Akashi. Windows in such a good position. We're seeing just a lot more confidence even on the approaches, thanks to the fact that these platforms are at a good sonic boom distance, so he can just dash attack across the entire
stage.
He
tried to get cheesy with it.
No emotion from either of the players there. And yeah, there we go. Windows immediately finding his own clap for good measure. Akashi still managing to take a game, which has been pretty hard against a lot of these top seeds going into this.
We've been watching a lot of washouts here.